we're setting up a boutique. And setting up of the boutique requires an understanding of the different type of machineries also which are required to begin with a boutique. If we categorize and divide the machinery, there are three essential type of machineries that are required for setting up of a boutique, which are cutting machines. If we talk about cutting machine, whenever we have to make a garment, we need to cut the fabric. Until and unless we are able to cut the fabric, we do not cut the fabric, we will never be able to give any shape to the fabric. And when we are not able to give the shape to a fabric, a garment cannot be developed. So, for the cutting machines, these could be either computerized or they could be manually operated machines, because end result has to be that the fabric has to be cut. We generally make use of manually operated machines in an area or in a type of a boutique which has a low clientele, which is just a beginning. It's an amateur boutique, a beginning in the field of a boutique. We have very less orders, so we're making use of manually operated cutting machines. However, in the bigger places where the boutiques ultimately get converted into the production houses, they have both domestic as well as export orders. The manually cutting machines are converted into computerized machines which are able to ultimately help us serve a bigger order. We could have different type of cutting machines like straight knife cutters, we could have rotary cutters, we could have round cutters, and also the simplest of the cutter that everyone is very conversant and very used to watching this cutter is a pair of shears that in normal language we call as scissors. So, these pair of shears, if are there in any boutique, a boutique starts with a bang. So, this is a general idea about the cutting machines that are required in the field of setting up of a machine. Along with the cutting machines, there are essential requirements of the sewing machines. Is there a possibility of starting any sort of a boutique without a sewing machine? If we talk about the facts, in today's scenario, it is not possible. Yes, we could do that in times of Rajas and Maharajas when the tailors used to handcraft the clothes for their kings and queens. But now are not the times. We have more sophisticated machinery which is available with us. Single needle lock stitch machine is a basic machine which is required for starting and setting up of any boutique. However, slowly and slowly, as and when the operations become a little more complicated, for example, if you have plackets to be made and finished on your shirt, you may have a placket folding machine. If you have collars on a shirt, you may have a collar turning machine, a cuff making machine, and also if you're stitching knit material, you could have single needle chain machine. So, depending upon the type of operations that a boutique is involved in, the type of range of the product that a boutique ultimately is selling, the type of sewing machinery keeps on changing, but the basic machinery that is required is a single needle lock stitch machine. Further to the single needle lock stitch machine, which are easily available everywhere by a domestic vendor as well as an export vendor. Also, another important machinery required is a pressing machinery. Any garment which is cut, any garment which is stitched on a sewing machine has to be properly finished. Without the proper finish of a garment, there are very less clienteles. Today, if you make a product and you give it to your clientele, which is not finished well, the client will never come back. So, a proper finish as well as a beautiful presentation of a product makes a lot of importance, and for that you would need different type of pressing machines. You could have flat ironing machines, direct heat machines, you could also have steam irons, you could, for further improved finishes, you could also have vacuum ironing tables with iron, because the moment the vacuum is created, the fabric goes absolutely flat and then you will be able to iron with the help of a steam machine. You could also have free hand spray steaming machines. They also help us to press the clothes very well, and we also have dummy irons, which are also another type of the pressing machine which are required for starting any sort of a boutique today. This is a basic understanding of the different machines that are required, but as far as the technical support or technical requirement of any boutique is concerned, a very important essential technical requirement of starting up of a boutique is a deep understanding and knowledge of pattern making. What is pattern making? Pattern making is basically an art. You can also say that it's a science. So it's a right mix of an art and a science together, which understands the human body, which also understands the different types of the fabric, and then just amalgamating them together, the science of the body as well as the science of the fabric, a pattern master with a skill of pattern making is able to give a shape to the fabric which fits the body of an individual very well. So this technical knowledge of pattern making is very, very important for setting up of the boutique.